Shellfish picking has always been what women did to bring home a little extra money, to help their husband. But now it's more like a real business.
Picking clams and cockles out of the sandbanks of Galicia, the mariscadores earn around €1,000 a month. In the past, this wasn't considered a job. There was no financial stability or employment rights.
Some of the women had no access to social security. It was a problem for retirement as years of work were unrecognised.
The situation started to change in the 1990s when the mariscadores organisations joined fishermen's guilds. The recognition as workers of the seafood sector came with legal protection, social security and strict quotas to ensure stocks are not overpicked. Today, shellfish pickers' rights are protected through a highly active national association representing over 30,000 women in Spain.
We have to fight for the same retirement rules as workers on fishing boats. We have to fight for our occupational health problems to be recognised. We have to fight for representation in the relevant decision-making bodies and commissions.
In Europe and around the world, many women in the fisheries sector remain statistically and legally invisible. The net menders in the port of Vigo work outside, sitting on a concrete floor, stitching nets for €6 an hour. They play a role in the fishing sector, but are not recognised as part of it.
I think it's illogical that office workers are retiring early and we are not. This is not fair. They work in comfort, while we are risking our health working in the heat and cold. Infections, bad posture affecting the lower back and our hands. We have all these health problems, but they're not recognised.
It's estimated that more than 100,000 women contribute to the EU fisheries sector. Accurate statistics are lacking, but according to available data, women represent 13% of capture fishery employees, a quarter of the workforce in aquaculture, and more than half of it in seafood processing.
Fishing vessel crews are almost entirely men, while it's often their wives, sisters and daughters who mend nets, clean boats or help with administrative tasks, especially in small-scale businesses. The Galician Foundation for Fishing and Shellfish runs several EU-supported projects to confront women's invisibility and promote gender equality in the sector.
This invisibility is due to the fact that women's work was always considered as something of low value. While men went to sea, women worked on land. Their work was just as necessary as men's, but it was considered something complementary and was not recognized socially or economically.
In the seafood processing sector, women often do menial jobs at factories owned and managed by men. But this artisanal cannery in northern Galicia was founded by 3 women, with some support from Farnet. That's a community-led local development network under the European Maritime and Fisheries Fund.
I'm actually an interior designer, but life in Galicia brought me into this field, as well as the general employment situation after the crisis of 2010. This led me to look at turning something we were making ourselves at home into a profession.
Specialising in sustainably sourced tuna in olive oil, the cannery's growing. Success stories like this are inspiring, but more efforts are still needed to increase women's visibility and address other gender inequalities in the blue economy.
I think the fundamental thing is for the public to see women who are picking shellfish, steering boats, carrying heavy loads on their shoulders. For them to see exceptional companies built and run by women. For new generations to see this and to become a part.